For decades, Bruce Willis defined cinematic toughness. He leapt from explosions, walked barefoot across broken glass, and faced death with a grin that made audiences cheer. To the world, he seemed indestructible, a man untouched by fear or weakness. But in recent years, something changed. His performances grew inconsistent, his presence felt distant, and critics were quick to label him as careless or driven by money. The internet mocked what it didn't understand. Behind the scenes, however, a quiet and devastating battle was unfolding, one that would eventually reveal a story not of decline, but of courage, sacrifice, and love. A silent struggle in childhood. Long before fame, Bruce Willis was just a boy struggling to be heard. Born in 1955 on a military base in West Germany and raised in New Jersey, his early life was shaped by working-class grit. At just 9 years old, he developed a severe stutter that made even simple sentences feel impossible. Speaking became a painful ordeal, often taking minutes to complete a thought. School was unforgiving. Children mocked him relentlessly, giving him cruel nicknames. For a young boy full of energy and ideas, being unable to express himself created a deep sense of isolation and fear that shaped his early identity. Finding power through performance. Instead of retreating inward, Willis found an unexpected weapon: humor. If he could make people laugh, they wouldn't laugh at him. This realization turned him into a class clown, using physical comedy to communicate what words could not. But the real transformation came in high school when he joined the drama club. On stage, something remarkable happened. His stutter disappeared. Acting gave him freedom. By becoming someone else, he could finally speak without fear. It was more than a hobby. It was liberation. For the first time, he experienced what it meant to have a voice, and it changed his life forever. From small jobs to big dreams. After high school, reality replaced applause. Willis didn't step into Hollywood, he stepped into survival. He worked as a security guard and even as a private investigator, living an ordinary life far removed from stardom. Yet the pull of acting never left him. In the late 1970s, he moved to New York City, chasing a dream with no guarantees. The city was harsh and unforgiving, and he lived in modest conditions. To make ends meet, he took jobs wherever he could, holding on to the hope that one day his moment would come. The bartender who became a star. One of Willis's most formative roles wasn't on screen, it was behind a bar. Working at a lively New York nightclub, he turned bartending into performance art. He entertained customers with charm, humor, and swagger, unknowingly crafting the persona that would later define his film career. He became known not just for serving drinks, but for his presence. This period sharpened his confidence and comedic timing. Yet, despite his growing charisma, Hollywood remained elusive. Audition after audition ended in rejection. He was told he didn't fit the mold of a leading man. Breaking into Hollywood against the odds. As Willis approached his 30s, the pressure intensified. In an industry obsessed with youth and perfection, he seemed like an unlikely star. He landed small roles, including minor appearances in films and theater, but nothing that hinted at greatness. Still, persistence defined him. When his breakthrough finally came, it wasn't just luck. It was the result of years of resilience. He would go on to become one of the most recognizable action stars in the world, proving every critic wrong and redefining what a leading man could look like. The confusing final chapter. Decades later, audiences began to notice a shift. Willis appeared in a string of low-budget films, often seeming disengaged or confused. Critics were harsh, accusing him of laziness or chasing easy money. The once celebrated actor became the subject of ridicule. Awards mocking poor performances only added to the narrative that he was tarnishing his legacy. Few stopped to question what might be happening behind the scenes. What looked like decline was in reality something far more serious and far more human. The diagnosis that changed everything. In March 2022, Willis's family shared a life-altering announcement. He had been diagnosed with aphasia. The condition affects the ability to speak, understand, read, and write. For a man whose life and identity were built on communication, it was devastating. Suddenly, the confusion on screen made sense. The criticism turned into sympathy almost overnight. The world realized it had misjudged him. This wasn't a fading star. It was a man fighting to hold on to his voice as it slowly slipped away. A crueler reality emerges. Less than a year later, the diagnosis evolved into something even more severe: frontotemporal dementia. Unlike Alzheimer's, which primarily affects memory, this condition impacts personality, behavior, and language. It is aggressive and currently has no cure. The revelation reframed everything. Those final films were no longer seen as careless choices, but as acts of urgency. Willis wasn't chasing paychecks. He was securing his family's future while he still could. Every role he took became part of a race against time. A family united in love. In the face of this diagnosis, Willis's family chose openness over silence. His wife, Emma Hemming Willis, along with Demi Moore and his children, created a support system rooted in love and transparency. They shared their journey to raise awareness and to show the human side of the disease. His daughter Tallulah revealed the heartbreak of misinterpreting early symptoms, thinking her father had grown distant when he was actually struggling cognitively. Their honesty helped the world understand that illness can hide in plain sight, even within families. Conclusion: redefining strength. Bruce Willis's story is no longer just about action films or iconic one-liners. It is about resilience in its purest form. From a child silenced by a stutter, to a global star, and finally to a man facing a relentless disease with quiet dignity, his journey reflects a different kind of heroism. His final years, once criticized, now stand as a testament to love and responsibility. He didn't just fight villains on screen, he faced one in real life. And in doing so, he showed that true strength isn't invincibility, it's enduring, even when the world doesn't understand.